What's up, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Brewing with Beckie. The premise is just that, a nice chat over a warm brew or iced, whatever the preference, with some very special guests. And I say that every time we have an episode because all of my guests are awesome. I have some really great friends who come on the show and talk about everything from soccer to coffee to life, and we have a good time with it. So today we have Sam Mewis on the podcast, the one and only international superstar, World Cup champion, and one of my Manchester City teammates, which is great. So without further ado, let's jump into this conversation. This is Brewing with Beckie, Sam Mewis. Hello, Sam.
Hi, Janine.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Just a little background on this episode. I have asked Sam about 6 times if she'll do this, and then I never followed through on actually setting it up. So we got here. We're here.
Well, yeah, to be fair to me, I have said yes every time.
Yes, she had no part of this waiting till now for this to happen. This is all on me. I'm just glad we're finally here.
Me too.
And the best part is we're only like 5 minutes from each other.
I know.
On Zoom because of COVID. But hey, we're following the rules because we're rule followers. We are not super spreaders, we do the good things. We fight the good fight. We go to training, we come home, we drink coffee, and we do things like this. So life is good for us right now, for the most part. Okay, so coffee. I had to use this cup today.
Oh no.
So just for what's about to happen in a few weeks. Anyways, I've got a filter. I went for a filter with some coffee. Yes, with some coffee. That's where I'm at. With some milk is what I meant. In my Canada cup. What do you have?
Beautiful, Janine. Did you make that at home?
I did.
Nice. Well, I went to Trove. I had an Americano with milk, but I will admit that I drank it already and this cup is empty.
You know what, though? She saved the cup for the show.
I saved the cup for the show.
I feel so honored that you did that.
I thought about like pouring water into it so I could like pretend drink it, but then I was like, I'll probably chug it and people will be like, what's wrong with her?
She's a very aggressive coffee drinker.
Very.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm like, me. I'm all about the grab a coffee after training, come home. I was a little tight for time today, and I can't really justify buying a coffee right now because I just bought a bag of coffee. So I figure I should probably, every other day try and make one at home.
Yes, very economical of you. And you got to drink while the beans are fresh.
Exactly. Tastes just the same, It's great. So we have a very large love for coffee. Yeah. The two of us, and also Abby and Rose. Can we just talk about for a second how Rose is still drinking iced coffee?
Yeah, you got to admire the determination. It's funny here because they like coffee shops like don't usually have ice, and like I feel like especially now that it's February and like raining, they'll kind of be like, why do you need ice? But yeah, she gets an iced vanilla latte whenever she can.
I mean, she knows where to find it. That was one of the biggest struggles for me when I first moved here, because before I came to England, I was like iced coffee all the time. Hot coffee never sounded good to me. I'm like, it just didn't sound good.
I don't know. I love a good hot coffee, even in the afternoon, even if it's hot outside. I love iced coffee too, but hot coffee just really makes you feel like you're going to work, just gonna go have a busy, productive day. You just got to drink it down.
I absolutely thought you were going to say something about like, it just makes me feel really cozy and like, I just want to sit in the corner with a book. No, hot coffee makes this girl want to go to work.
Yeah.
That doesn't actually surprise me at all that you just said that. But speaking of iced coffee, I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask anyways. Dunkin' or Starbucks?
Dunkin'.
See, she's from Boston. She is obligated to answer Dunkin'. I will say, though, before I moved to New Jersey, I was like Starbucks all the way. Never, ever, ever went to Dunkin', and then moved to New Jersey, and they're just like on every corner.
They're on every corner. It's just like, you just know what you're going to get. And it's just part of my DNA, I think. think I've just like inherited this love for Dunkin'.
And Christy is in love with Dunkin' as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just Dunkin' people.
I wonder what Christy thinks of Houston, because there is like I don't even know if Dunkin's in Houston.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're like fine without it. Like when there isn't one around, like we'll go wherever and get a coffee. But we always do make a point when we're home to go to Dunkin', and it's just, I don't know. I just feel like where we're from, you're just kind of like a Dunkin' rat.
I like that. I like it. You got to stay true to where you're from.
Yeah.
I think I've only been to Boston maybe once or twice, and I've never actually seen Boston. Yeah, so just to play. Back when they played, I think they still played at Harvard at that point.
Yeah, Boston's cool. If you do ever get to go, it is a fun city. There's like so much to do, but it's like very walkable. There's like so many cool neighborhoods. The food's really good. It's on the water. It kind of has everything.
Who's paying you to say this?
Nobody.
The city of Boston. Just kidding. So anyone that's listening, if you want to go to Boston, tell us what you go to Boston, absolute must do.
Okay. I mean, if you can go to a Red Sox game, very Boston, very cool, very fun thing to do.
Okay.
One of my favorite restaurants is in the South End. It's called Mita. It's Italian. And we love it. We go all the time, but since COVID, we've been just getting takeout. The couple times I've been home, we'll just order like a bunch of takeout and spread it all out on the dining room.
That sounds fantastic.
Definitely recommend, like, if you're on like a touristy trip, like do something by the water, whether you like want to go to the beach or like take one of like the boat situations or like have dinner by the water. I don't really know.
I think that was great. Taking notes in my head, and when I go to Boston, I'm gonna check those places out. So Mita, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay, if you go there, tell them Samantha Mewis sent you.
Yeah. And they don't know who I am, but
well, there you go. They'll say, you know what? Great. You're here. We're going to give you our food.
Great.
Takeout is like the most important thing right now.
Yeah. You know what I will say? I think because of COVID, all the restaurants like have really learned how to be good at, not all, but like a lot of restaurants have learned how to be good at takeout, and they're like packaging really well and like making the food like stay fresher somehow.
It's been great. I agree.
That takeout is really coming a long way in this trying time.
Takeout is on the up in these difficult times. I mean, thank goodness for takeout, because so many businesses would probably not be surviving if it wasn't for takeout. So keep ordering takeout, people. Support local. Do all the things that you need to do. Eat more food, really, is the end of the period on that sentence. Just eat as much as you want. Get as much takeout. I will say, there are so many saved things on my Deliveroo app right now.
You can save things, like save ideas.
Like when you order something from a restaurant, it says at the top like reorder, so you can order the same thing that you ordered the last time. But as far as I know, it doesn't really go away, because I've gone on restaurants that I haven't ordered from in like a really long time, and my previous order is still on there, which is dangerous, but also great if you're lazy and don't want to go through the entire menu again.
That is a good trick. I think for my own like sanity, I would want it to go away, just so I didn't like constantly remind myself that I ordered like 11 cookies and a pizza and
I was introduced to dessert from Nando's, which,
well, you just told me about this the other day, and then me and Rose got a carrot cake.
Was it delicious?
Yeah, it was actually really good.
The problem was I was ordering for myself and Aoife, and I was treating her because she had just got back on the pitch. Woohoo, go Aoife. And I was like, I don't know what she'll want, so I just ordered 3 things. And I figured we'll just have all of it. Why not?
Sounds reasonable to me.
Chocolate cake, carrot cake, cheesecake, and then we threw in some wings. So it's a great combination. Delicious combination. I think really can't go wrong. So anyways, I've ruined myself now that I know Nando's has good dessert, because it comes in like 15 minutes and it's so good. But had you ever had Nando's before you moved here?
Yeah, I keep like swearing there's a Nando's in DC.
I am not the right person to
verify that. I think there's a Nando's in DC near where we stay for the NWSL. So like I'm convinced that I've had it before, but I've also had it here and it is very good.
Okay, since both I am too lazy to look. Anyone listening to this podcast, if you find out that there's a Nando's in the States, you let us know. You reach out, you
Yeah.
let us know where it's at. We'll be there when we get back.
Great.
But speaking of restaurants in America,
Yeah.
what other than Mita, because we've already checked that one off the box.
Yeah.
What do you miss the most?
Well, shoot, I should have had a pre-planned answer.
It's okay. We like thinking on the spot here.
Well, so I will say we get Rudy's Pizza here a lot.
So good.
Which is awesome. But I do miss like pizza, like from where I'm from it's just like a little different. It's like it'll be like a little bar pizza.
Ooh.
It's so good. So I'm like a good buffalo chicken pizza from Boston.
I
just don't think I'm gonna really find that here.
Okay, that's fair. I like that. I really miss Chipotle, which I know there's Chipotle in London, but that is not close to here.
London.
We don't live there. Yeah, everyone says that. There's one in London. Well, you guys, we're like
I'm not gonna drive 4 hours.
Exactly my point. So that's definitely one.
Maybe I wouldn't put it past Rose.
Well, if Rose goes, I'm getting in the car. So yeah. I'm in for that trip. Yeah, definitely Chipotle. I remember one time in college, this was dangerous because there was a Chipotle across the street from my dorm. My roommate and I went to Chipotle 6 times in 1 week.
Oh, wow.
Twice in 1 day.
I mean, it ticks a lot of boxes.
It is just so good. And I know that there's so many options so you can mix up your order, but are you one of those ones you just get the same thing every time?
Yeah, I mean,
ooh,
yeah, like it would be very rare for me not to get what I usually get.
Are we a bowl or burrito kind of gal?
I prefer burritos, but it kind of depends like what company I'm in and like where our plan for eating it. Like if you're gonna take it away, maybe I get a bowl.
Because a burrito and tacos are not the most amazing thing to eat in a proper way.
I know. I'm trying to think like in what situation, Sam, have you had Chipotle with someone you had to like be polite with? And I'm like, I never have. So like, yeah, I would get a burrito. Get a burrito
and absolutely shove it in your mouth as fast as you can because you can't eat Chipotle any other way.
No.
And they're the biggest burritos on earth. I know. And then it's like the most bliss ever.
I know. Well, then you get to the end and you're like, I'm full, but I can't like put this down. So I just have to house it because there's just
it's just too good. Yeah. You can't not finish it. It's like laws of Chipotle.
And once you put it down, it's like over.
Yeah.
Like it's just so you just have to.
The thing, my one gripe with the burritos sometimes is that like you have all the rice on one side of the burrito and then like it's like sectioned. Whereas a bowl, you can kind of get everything in each bite.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you know, preferences, personal preferences.
If you try hard enough, you could maybe just take the biggest. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think.
I would enjoy seeing that. Okay, so Chipotle needs to move to Manchester. So if they move to Manchester, they would get my money quick.
Yeah, I think they'd do well.
They would do well. There is such good food in Manchester that really can't complain. It's a great food city. You got to explore a little bit of the city before we went into an aggressive lockdown, but hopefully when all this subsides and life starts to happen again, you can really go and explore some other spots.
Yes, that would be very exciting. But right now I am trying to just enjoy the downtime, bring my coffee home, get to sit around. Can't complain because I just love being home.
She gets her hot coffee in the morning and she's ready to go to work with the hot coffee.
Yeah.
And then she has another coffee that's the relaxing coffee.
I guess that's the relaxing coffee. Yeah. It's like that's like my chill out, relax, but I still do get a hot one and I just feel like a businesswoman.
I mean, I'm right with you. And the size of the Trove coffees are like really great size. It's like not massive, so you can't finish it before it goes cold. But some coffees you'd get from like specialty coffee places are just too small.
I know, they're always like regular or large. And I'm like, can you see the size of me as a person? You have an extra large.
Okay, I have to ask. Tower of Power.
Yep.
How did that come? How did it start? Who started it?
Dude, honestly, I think it started with the Courage was getting like announced for something, and we had a announcer that was just saying funny stuff as he announced everybody. And he just like said it like nonchalant, like as if he just thought of it. But we all like kind of looked at each other like, what? Did he really just come up with that? Like that's gonna stick.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then it just kind of stuck, and I think I've taken it and ran with it.
You have absolutely lived up to that name. 100%.
Yeah, it's like it was just made for me.
I love that. That's such a great story. It just happened. Someone just said it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't really believe that that's the story. That's amazing. So that name has come with you to Manchester. We've seen it be used with City. Is this what you expected? Being over in England with our team, we have a funny team. Like what were your expectations, and has it lived up to them? Has it exceeded them? Where are we at?
I think, yeah, I mean, I think in a lot of ways it has exceeded them. I think that I came from a team that has like so many of my really good friends on it, that I don't know, I think part of me didn't even factor in that I could come here and have great friends and get along with everybody and enjoy it so much. But I really have, and I feel like socially it's just been like so fun. And that like all the time we spend on the bus and like laughing and just like joking around has been something that I just like didn't anticipate being as easy as it has been. And then I mean, there's just so many good things about it. Like, I think I knew the facilities were going to be awesome, but I didn't really understand how much that contributes to just like the ease of the day and getting to have meals there, and then having the gym be on site and all the physios on site, the fields on site, like everything being in one place is really nice. And I think that just, it kind of like allows and enables you to utilize all the resources that you have every day. And you just have access to so much. So it's been like very like overwhelming in a good way to realize how much I have access to and just how professional of an environment it is.
It's we're so lucky to have what we have, and I had the same experience when I first came over here. And it's really funny because before you came, like when they announced your signing, and the girls are like, "Do you know Sam? Like what's she like?" And it was so weird because obviously we hadn't ever like officially met, but just being in the NWSL, you're kind of like, and obviously with the national team, I'm like, well, I don't really know her, but like I feel like I know her. And I was just like, I've heard really great things. And then obviously like you came in and you've hit it off with everyone, but it's just been so fun. And I think it's, unfortunately with COVID, our facility looks a little bit different in the way that it's run, and we're not in as close proximity to each other as we would be like in the locker room. And obviously they've done everything they can to accommodate in the best way. And I think it's still really awesome, but you don't really realize from a camaraderie perspective how important it is to like be in the same space as your teammates for the flow of the day. So obviously like we have a meeting together, we put our stuff on for training together, we're in the gym together, the physio room's right next to the gym, and then obviously at this time we're not eating together, but it really just like breeds a different kind of camaraderie, like I just said, than being in an environment where you pull up to practice and you just like get on the field, and when you're done with practice you get back in your car and you leave. And it's just really fun. And then obviously with England, like I've had so many people back in the NWSL and like back at home, you drive to all your games, and I'm like, yes. Do you realize that England is like tiny compared to the US? I think it can fit in Texas like 3 or 4 times or something wild like that. And so, yeah, just like being on the bus and joking around and just spending so much time around each other, especially when you get thrown into that, like in a new environment, it's like you almost have to like make friends really quickly, or it's like real lonely and you just are like the odd person out that doesn't ever say anything. But I'm so glad to hear that you feel like that transition's been good. And then obviously you've had Rose with you, which has been amazing, and she's fit in so well. And now Abby's here. We've got this fun little North American crew.
I know.
And they were, oh my gosh, I got just absolutely so made fun of when the rumors started to flow that you guys were coming and then Abby was coming and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, you're not going to talk to anyone else but the Americans." And I'm like, I don't stop talking. So I won't just talk to them, but I will say it has been very nice to have some people around who understand my jokes and references.
Yes, it is definitely it adds like a layer of comfort to have other Americans here for sure. I think it's so funny because like one of the pros obviously of coming to play in England is that we speak the same language,
Mm.
but I think that like I underestimated just like the like I don't know, different words and like accents that people would have. Like
Yeah.
everybody on the team has a slightly different accent, which is wild. And then just some of the lingo, like some of the lingo, one has to get explained. But then two, especially with the masks, I feel like half the time somebody will say something to me and I just go, what? Like I so often like did not pick up one word that they said.
I think it's so funny, especially with like Kira specifically for some reason. For like the first year and a half that I was on the team, I think every time something came out of her mouth, I was like, "What are you saying? Like,
Yeah,
one more time? I'm so sorry. I promise one more time and I'll get it."
I know.
And I like half the time she's just like, "You know what? Never mind. It doesn't matter."
Like
Because I
at
had
this
to ask
point, it's
so many
15
times.
minutes later, it's like not even worth saying.
What I didn't realize, and what probably a lot of people in America will say, don't realize is that like people talk about like a British accent, like, oh, do a British accent. And it's like so stereotypical, like,
Yeah,
hello, like just so not actually what anyone here sounds like. And then
yeah,
it's like there's London accents, there's Liverpool accents, there's like Mancunian accents, and it's just like, and then there like Steph is obviously from Newcastle. Everything's so different. And I like still don't know where some people are from because
yeah,
I'm like, I can't tell what your accent is.
yeah,
It's wild. It's funny
yeah.
because
Wow.
someone was asking me the other day, like, oh, do you in the States, like, do you guys have different accents? And I'm like, well, yeah, like regionally, you kind of do.
Yeah,
But to the, like, someone that's never heard an American accent, you and I would probably sound the same.
yeah,
Whereas if, like, Alex and Kira started talking, they sound completely different from one another.
yeah.
It's
That's
wild,
yeah.
but the masks definitely don't help.
Oh my God, I know.
Is there
The other day with Aiden, I just swear like he had to say it 3 times, and I was just, can you like say it in a different way?
that's a no on that one. I don't know. I don't know what you said. That's funny.
Yeah,
Oh, I've had so many of those experiences. You know what? You move.
yeah.
We move.
It's fine.
Um,
It's
I
fine.
was gonna say something. Oh, is there anything that you say now, like a term or a word that you didn't say before you lived here?
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna like change anything permanently. Like nothing has like caught on. I think when I'm surrounded by the team, I'll say like boots because I know that people are not pick up when I say cleats. But when Pat was here, all the time we would just go, "Oh, I'm absolutely knackered," uh, just like as a joke. But Pat like loves that and like still says it all the time.
I
So
have a
maybe
funny
that's just
story
it.
about that word.
Oh yeah,
So, KB, Karen Bardsley, she says that word, but she says it obviously in an American accent.
yeah.
I
That's
kid you not, I thought she was saying naked. And so there was one day where she was texting me and I was trying to say that word over text, but I
yeah.
typed naked and
Oh.
she was so confused. And I was like, why is
Oh,
she so
like you just
confused?
spelled it
I
like that.
literally spelled it naked because I thought like she was saying knackered, but I was like, I don't really know. Like,
Yeah, it just doesn't sound right in an American
it
accent.
doesn't
Like
sound
I don't
right.
even think
Oh,
I want to even say it. I just think you have to say it in an English accent.
it was such a debacle. It was like it took about 20 minutes to explain what I was actually trying to say. And then now she won't let me forget that that happened, which is typical of lots of things that have happened since I've tried to introduce British lingo into my everyday language. But I will say, I say to be fair all the time
Oh
now.
yeah, I do too. I said that
It's
on the
great. It's so helpful. I like it a lot. I say proper a lot now.
But you've been here longer than me.
Yeah, I mean, it'll come. It'll come, Sam. You just invite it in. But I will say, like, when I do interviews and stuff now, I can't say soccer anymore. It just feels really weird.
I said soccer in the training room the other day in the physio room. And
I
think like nobody said anything, but I think everybody was kind of like, oh.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
I'm just gonna like mind my own business over here.
Just pretend like that didn't happen. Yeah, soccer, cleats, field.
Yeah,
training room. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm there.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so speaking of the team, I came up with a few who's most likely to.
Great. This will be fun.
And I'm really interested.
Make fun of my friends.
Yeah, I'm really interested to hear your answers.
Okay.
And some of them are, nice. You can just compliment
I hope they're
them.
all nice to me, and otherwise I'm never going to be able to pick.
I mean, they're not mean. I wouldn't do that to you. Okay, first one is, who's most likely to end up living in America? Other than the Americans, of course.
I don't know. I feel like Alex has said maybe someday.
Oh, the Scouse, the Liverpool.
But I don't know about forever.
Okay, all right. Good answer. There's no bad answers here. Okay. I feel like is that your final answer?
I guess so.
Okay, Alex, great. Who's most likely to skip leg day? I feel like I know your answer.
Well, not literally. Like, she would never actually skip leg, but like Esme does have skinny legs. But in like a beautiful like model way.
She's got gorgeous long legs. But honestly, when I wrote down that question, I thought of her just because she's got skinny legs.
Yeah, but Esme is in the gym like probably more than anybody. Also, like she's in there doing upper body all the time, so I don't want this to come across as that I think she skips workout. Just gotta cover all my bases here.
No offense. Don't take any offense to this. If anything, it's a compliment.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's most likely to be late to a meeting?
Literally everybody. It's so strange. Me and Rose will be in the meeting room like 5 minutes before the meeting, and then it'll be like 9:01 and everybody will start walking in and we're like, what?
I feel like I thought that same thing when I first moved here. I feel like we grow up like with the if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late kind of thing. I'm with you there. That's so funny. Okay,
it's
everyone.
So strange. It's just like I don't know. And then it's like if you're with everybody too, it's like fine. So like it could be like 9:01. We're all still in the breakfast room, and then somebody decides to go, so we go.
Everyone's like, "Oh, should we go to the meeting now?"
Yeah.
And then no one says anything about it. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I didn't even think about that.
At first, like we felt like such losers. It would be like 8:58, and the room would be dark and empty, and we'd be sitting there like, did we miss something?
Did we actually look at the schedule? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I love that.
So weird.
I love that. Okay. Who's most likely to come save you if you have a flat tire?
Well, like, okay, so if me and Rose and Abby were all in the same car and we all had a flat tire together. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of feel like I would call either like Georgia or Ellie for some reason.
I feel like I'm going to say neither of them know how to change a tire. Georgia might, to be fair.
I know how to change a tire, so maybe I'll save myself.
Okay. I like the answer though. That's so funny.
I don't really know. For some reason, like I just get the sense Ellie like would be able to like, I don't know why.
She's just so chill. Like I feel like nothing riles Ellie up. Like she's just the same. Just so relaxed, chill, not bothered.
Yeah.
It's a skill.
And then for some reason I just feel like Georgia would just know someone and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'll sort it out. Like it's done." And I'd just be like, "Okay."
I can see that. Okay. Answer validified. I like that. All right. Who's likely to run their own company?
KB.
Oh, I knew you were gonna. That's a good one. Knew you were gonna say that.
Say you, but that was like.
Oh, thanks.
But KB too.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take half that answer because
Okay.
I'm flattered. Okay. Who's most likely to buy or offer to buy everyone on the team coffee? We're all out for coffee. Who's putting their card up and saying, I got this?
Yeah, Jill.
Jill. Yes, she
Jill,
does it every time.
Jill has bought me like 15 coffees, like
You know
back when we could go out to coffee, and I would try to get there early to like get the coffees, but she'd already be there.
You can never beat her.
And I'd just be like, no, I owe you one. Let me get you one. And she would just be like, no.
You cannot buy Jill coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a battle I stopped trying to fight 2 years ago because you just lose.
Yeah.
Wow, those were great answers. You
really
really on the ball there.
I think they were like I think they were like pretty easy. Like they really made me think of someone right away.
Well, that's great. That is just great. So I'm gonna bring it back to this.
Okay.
Rematch in a few weeks. This will be the first time we play each other as teammates. I think.
Yeah.
Yes, because the last time we played each other was qualifying. So friends off the field, foes on the field.
Exactly.
The nice Janine goes away. I'm just kidding.
Well,
I don't know. I don't think I could ever like choose to be not nice, but competitive, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Well, I'm excited to be in the Florida sun.
Yes. And it'll be good.
It's going to be a great tournament. First time in a year that our team's been together. So
it will be great.
Nice little reunion. She believes.
To look forward to.
Everyone tune in. It's going to be in the middle of the night if you're in England, but if you're a true fan, you will watch. You will stay up and watch. Well, Sam, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. This was great.
It's been a pleasure, and I'm glad that you kept your coffee cup. I really appreciate that.
Not a problem.
At some point, we'll have a podcast reunion, and you can actually have a coffee for that one.
That sounds great.
Okay, so looking forward to that.
Me too.
But you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Janine. You too.